Brands on Brands.
Hey, this week we're talking about Ken from the Ken and Barbie movie. This is our personal branding profile. Check it out.
In a world where content is king and your reputation is your brand, how do you build a brand that matters? Welcome to Brands on Brands, a home for those that think different and push their boundaries. This is where branding that matters lives. Now, here is your host, Brandon Birkmeyer.
Hey, what's up? Welcome to Brands on Brands. I am Brandon Birkmeyer, your personal branding coach. And today we are talking about Ken from the Ken and Barbie movie. We're doing a personal branding profile on Ken. That's right. Ken, that Mattel toy, that doll that came with Barbies or that you'd buy separate if you played with Barbies. The Ken doll has a lot of personal branding lessons, believe it or not. And if you guys had a chance to watch the Barbie movie this past year, it was a blockbuster. It had great promotion. But one of the stories that really stood out to me was the story of Ken in the movie. But also, if you look back at the history of the Ken doll, lots of lessons for us to dive into. And really, the biggest lesson that this whole episode's about is the value of association. The value of association. What does that mean? That means your value that you gain from being associated with someone or something else. Now, obviously, Ken as a doll wouldn't have existed without Barbie as a doll. I'm sure there are many different dolls that were like men-oriented dolls. I mean, they had G.I. Joes, right? But Ken, his value was completely determined by the value of the Barbie doll. If the Barbie doll sold really well, the Ken doll also sold better than it would have, right? They're connected to each other. So the better that Barbie did, the better that Ken did. And this association is huge. And this can be applied to everything that we do for ourselves in terms of reputation building for a personal brand. Now, there are three things to look at when thinking about the value of association. The first is visibility. The second is social proof. And the third is trickle-down value. Now, visibility for a Ken doll means the more people that see Barbie, whether they see her commercials or they see her toys on the shelves in the stores, or they see the doll at a friend's house, the more people see Barbie, the more Ken, his visibility goes up as well. Because Ken is where Barbie is. If you have a Barbie doll collection on the shelves, there's going to be a Ken doll somewhere near it. If there's a Barbie cartoon, one of the characters is going to be Ken. Now that there's a Barbie movie, the character Ken has been elevated and his, again, association and brand name increases. The more you see the main lead character, the more the value and visibility of the second character increases. So for you as a personal brand, as someone out there building the reputation, who can you build association with? Who can you attach your train to and say, okay, this person either is someone I believe in that I want to be associated with, or it's someone who already has built influence and reputation, and I want to be in their world and hopefully develop a relationship that the value that goes up for them means value that goes up for me. In other words, this person finds trust in a relationship with me and says, they're with me. So how can you build your visibility? By leveraging a relationship with someone who already has visibility. And it could be someone, or it could be something, or it could be a group, or whatever it might be. But think of places where there's already attention. How do you go where the attention is and become associated with what's getting that attention? Now, obviously, you want that to be positive and relevant for where you are seeking attention and visibility. But it starts with one tactic, which is going where it already is. So the second value of association is thinking about social proof. So for Ken and Barbie, the value of Barbie, and every time that people thought she was, awesome, or they, had feelings about the doll, or her popularity increased, that proved the value of a Ken doll. So if kids are liking Barbie dolls, you know that Ken dolls are going to be popular as well. It's proof that it works. It's proof that kids want this thing. And the next thing they might also want is something else. Now that goes beyond a Ken doll, right? If the Barbie doll is popular, that means her accessories are going to be popular. Her clothes are going to be popular. Her cars and, doll houses are going to be popular. And then all the spin-offs, the cartoons, the TV shows, the brand deals and associations, all of those are going to be popular as well. And all of that goes to the value of Ken as well. So you say, how do we know that this product that has Ken in it, or this song that has Ken in it, or this toy that has Ken in it, how do we know this is going to work? Well, we have social proof. We know that Barbie works, so Ken should work as well. Now, it's not always a one-to-one equation there, but it has a better chance of succeeding because it has social proof that it's connected to something that already works. So for you in your personal brand journey, how do you find proof of your performance? And a lot of that can be through association. If someone who's already popular and influential trusts you, right? Say you're their go-to person for a particular thing, or they just trust you as a friend and they have a relationship with you, that is social proof that you are someone who is trustworthy or that can accomplish a certain goal for someone that you trust already. So it gets rid of those barriers of you having to build trust or build visibility as an expert and prove that thing that you have worth in. You don't have to prove it if that person's proven themselves and they've chosen you. So social proof happens and is one of the values of association. Now, the third thing to think about is trickle-down value. Again, with Ken and Barbie, as Barbie's value increased, Ken's value increased. The more business came into her world, the more trickle-down value came to Ken's world. The more people bought Barbies, the more people bought Ken's. That's what we've been saying. So trickle-down value from a monetary standpoint is something to think about as well. The more people are giving attention to and purchasing something for someone that you build association with, if you are in that realm of conversation, that money can flow to you as well. So think about what are the relationships you can build that will potentially lead to value for you. In some cases, this can come in terms of excess, right? For example, if you're a service-based entrepreneur and you meet one of the top entrepreneurs in your service space, they might have overflow business that they can't handle and pass it on to you. Or they might have business that is at the wrong price point for them, but it might be perfect for you. So how do you build in an association with someone who has already things flowing their way that they may be able to pass along to you so that you can get the value of that as well, right? So in a corporation, for example, how do you align yourself with people who already have value in the organization? And when they're looking for someone to bring on to take on a new project or to bring with them on a trip that has visibility for you, how do you get the value of the things that they're getting, right? Basically, the theory is, when one ship rises, all ships rise. A rising tide raises all ships, as they say. So the trick is finding the people and finding the places to latch onto and say, here's where I want to build relationships. Here's where I want to invest time. Here's why I want to put my emotional energy and effort and thought. How do you direct all of these things towards places that matter instead of just kind of taking it at random? Well, the trick is to find something that is worth attaching to and finding something that's worth associating with. So that might be for you groups that you associate with, that might be people you associate with, that might be particular efforts or behaviors that you associate with, whatever it might be. For me, I like to associate as a creator with other creators and with other podcasters. As a speaker, I like to associate with other speakers. As a coach, I like to associate with other coaches. As a marketer, I associate with marketing people. So you have all these different, types of people, but also groups within those types of people that you can build associations with. So highly valuable to build your visibility, to build social proof and trust with potential opportunity, and to get that trickle down value that's already flowing to something that's been proven. that's the story we got for you today. That's the lesson, and I hope that you found it valuable. Big fan of the Barbie movie, and especially that Ken song that came out. If you haven't heard it, check it out. And appreciate you guys listening as always, and we will catch you next time.
You've just taken your marketing knowledge to another level with this episode of Brands on Brands. But we have plenty more ways to help you build a brand that matters. Head over to brandsonbrands.com for resources, as well as access to our blogs, videos, and exclusive coaching sessions with your host. Be sure to visit brandsonbrands.com.